Throughout the years, America made amazing cars that were groundbreaking, classy, and strong. But not all were good. Some were ugly, poorly made, unsafe, or even fake. These cars, once icons of the road, fell short in various ways and were considered the worst of their time. So join us as we take a closer look at what made these vehicles fall short and the impact they had on the industry. Number 20. 1971 Ford Pinto. The Ford Pinto, introduced in 1970, just before the first OPEC oil embargo on the subsequent gas prices, the Pinto initially proved to be a significant success for Ford, with over 800,000 units sold in its first 2 years. However, its story is overshadowed by severe safety issues that eventually marred its legacy. The Ford Pinto was produced from 1971 until 1980, with the final model year being 1980. The car vanished from the market after that year due to declining sales and rising controversies. The most significant problem with the Pinto was its fuel tank design, which became a major source of controversy. In rear-end collisions, the fuel tanks were prone to rupturing, which often led to deadly fires. This design flaw attracted intense scrutiny from both the media and government, especially after several tragic incidents involving Pinto fires. The Pinto offered various engine options, including a 97 cubic inch Kent inline-4, a 122 cubic inch EAO inline-4, and a 170 cubic inch 2.8-liter Cologne V6. Despite these options, the Pinto's performance was modest, typical of subcompact cars from that era. It was not known for its speed or handling, but was designed to be an economical commuter vehicle. In terms of appearance, the Pinto was available in 3 body styles: a 2-door fastback sedan with a trunk, a 3-door hatchback, and a 2-door station wagon. These designs provided some versatility, but the car's reputation suffered greatly due to its safety flaws. Numerous recalls and lawsuits ensued, which severely damaged Ford's image. Ultimately, Pinto's legacy is a cautionary tale in business ethics and tort reform. Its reputation plummeted due to its significant safety issues, making it an unwanted choice among consumers. Number 19. 1960 Chevrolet Corvair. The Chevrolet Corvair, produced by General Motors, has a fascinating yet controversial history. Manufactured for a decade from 1960 to 1969, its first generation spanned from 59 to 1964, followed by the second generation until production ended. During its initial phase, the Corvair was offered in various models, including 2-door coupes, convertibles, 4-door sedans, and 4-door station wagons, along with passenger vans, commercial vans, and pickup trucks. The Corvair stood out with its innovative design as a rear-engined, air-cooled compact car, aimed at competing with European imports like the Volkswagen Beetle. The name Corvair was initially used for a Corvette-based concept in 1954. Characterized by a hardtop fastback-styled roof. The air part of its name referred to the engine's cooling system, a distinctive feature of its design. Corvair's legacy is significantly shaped by safety concerns. Ralph Nader's book, Unsafe at Any Speed, sharply criticized its handling, sparking controversy. Nevertheless, a 1972 Safety Commission report concluded that the 1960 to 1963 Corvair had no greater risk of losing control than other contemporary compact cars under extreme conditions. Under the hood, the Corvair featured an air-cooled rear-mounted flat-six engine. Its engineering was considered groundbreaking, particularly its unibody construction. While not known for its speed, the Corvair served as an economical commuter car. It was available in 2-door coupes, convertibles, and 4-door hardtops. Number 18. 1959 Studebaker Lark. The Studebaker Lark, produced by Studebaker from 1959 to 1966, has an interesting history. It was introduced in 1959 as a compact car, following the 1950 Nash Rambler, which was the first American car in this class. Production continued until 1966, but by early 1964, Lark-based models were marketed under the Commander, Daytona, and Cruiser nameplates only. The Lark was cleverly designed around the core body shell of the full-size 1953 to 1958 Studebakers. By reducing the front and rear overhangs and shortening the wheelbase ahead of the firewall, it could comfortably sit 6 people and carry a surprising amount of luggage. Performance-wise, it was not particularly powerful, but served well as an economical commuter vehicle. The Lark was available in various body styles, including 2-door and 4-door sedans, 2-door coupes, convertibles, and station wagons. The decline of the Lark was due to its outdated design and lack of innovation. Despite its initial success, it could not compete with the big 3 in the full-size market. Ultimately, the Studebaker Company ceased automobile production in 1966. Number 17. 1975 Chevrolet Chevette. The Chevrolet Chevette, launched in September 1975, was a front-engine, rear-wheel drive subcompact car designed to replace the Vega as Chevrolet's entry-level model. It remained in production until 1987, selling an impressive 2.8 million units over its 12-year run. The Chevette was offered in both 3-door and 5-door hatchback versions. Its popularity stemmed from its affordability and exceptional fuel efficiency, attracting budget-conscious buyers seeking economical transportation. In terms of performance, the Chevette was practical rather than powerful, serving primarily as a reliable commuter car. Engine options included a 1.4-liter inline-4, a 1.6-liter inline-4, and a 1.8-liter inline-4. The car's design was simple and unadorned, and its interior materials were often criticized for their low quality and lack of inspiration. Despite its popularity, the Chevette was often considered one of the worst cars due to its lackluster performance and basic features, leaving some buyers disappointed with its utilitarian nature. Number 16. 1970 AMC Gremlin. The AMC Gremlin, introduced in 1970, was a subcompact car that left a notable impact. Produced in the United States from 1970 to 1978 and continuing until 1983 in Mexico by AMC's subsidiary Vehículos Automotores Mexicanos, the Gremlin was built on a shortened Hornet platform and offered as a 2-door hatchback. Its design was inspired by the AMC AMX GT concept car, with its most distinctive feature being the pronounced camback tail, which gave it an unconventional appearance. Despite this unique look, the Gremlin was primarily an economy car and not known for its powerful performance. Engine options included a 4,230 cubic centimeter AMC 258 inline-6 and a 4,978 cubic centimeter AMC 304 V8. The Gremlin, although popular, faced criticism for perceived quality issues. Many buyers found it lacking in performance and overall refinement, which impacted its reputation despite its distinctive design and economy car status. Number 15. 1975 Chrysler Cordoba. The Chrysler Cordoba was a mid-sized luxury coupe produced by Chrysler Corporation in North America from 1975 to 1983. Initially launched in 1975, the Cordoba marked a shift from Chrysler's large, full-size models to a more compact, luxurious segment. The first generation, spanning from 1975 to 1979, introduced the Cordoba as a stylish 2-door car. But its appeal waned by the second generation, 1980 to 1983. Facing stiff competition from other luxury brands, Cordoba's sales declined, leading to its eventual discontinuation due to diminishing popularity and changing market trends. The Cordoba offered several engine options, including V8s, with the most notable being a 383 cubic inch V8 that produced 200 horsepower. Despite this, the car struggled to deliver the expected performance, with lackluster acceleration and poor handling compared to its competitors. Stylistically, the Cordoba stood out with a unique Spanish motif featuring textured antique gold vinyl seats, ornate door panels, and a distinctive Aztec eagle hood ornament. However, it was plagued by reliability issues, frequent breakdowns, and a disappointing driving experience. In comparison, rival luxury brands provided better engineered and more reliable alternatives, leaving Cordoba to struggle in the competitive market. Number 14. 1970 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The 1970 Chevrolet Monte Carlo combined sportiness and luxury in an intriguing way. It was introduced in 1970 and shared its unique A Special platform with the Pontiac Grand Prix. The car's long hood and smooth lines gave it an elegant look. However, despite its initial popularity, the Monte Carlo faced criticism and saw declining sales. By 1972, it was evident that its handling and build quality did not live up to its stylish appearance. The Monte Carlo offered engine options including a 5.7-liter V8 and a 6.6-liter V8, providing decent power. However, its sporty appearance did not result in exciting performance, as the car's handling was disappointing to driving enthusiasts. Its sleek and aerodynamic design featured a distinctive grille and hidden headlights, while the interior boasted plush materials and comfortable seating, appealing to luxury lovers. Despite its promising design, the Monte Carlo was considered one of the worst due to poor handling and subpar build quality. Enthusiasts found it lacking in agility, and its fit and finish did not meet expectations. Number 13. 1971 Plymouth Cricket. In the early 1970s, American car manufacturers rushed to tap into the subcompact car market, giving rise to the Plymouth Cricket. This car, though often overlooked today, holds a unique place in automotive history. The Cricket, introduced to the U.S. market in 1971, was what they call a captive import, meaning it was based on the Hillman Avenger from England. However, its time in the spotlight was brief, lasting only from 1971 to 1973. Despite being badged as a Plymouth, the Cricket bore no explicit Cricket markings, only subtle decals. Chrysler, which had a controlling stake in the Roots Group, owner of Hillman, opted for the Avenger rather than developing its own subcompact. Unfortunately, the Cricket's assembly quality, stemming from its production in Scotland, left much to be desired, resulting in reliability issues that tarnished its reputation. Its demise in the U.S. market by 1973 was inevitable, overshadowed by more appealing alternatives like the Valiant and Duster compacts, which offered better space and comfort for just slightly more cost. Number 12. 1971 AMC Matador. The AMC Matador, made by the American Motors Corporation, had a unique journey spanning 2 generations. In its first generation, from 1971 to 1973, the Matador took over from the AMC Rebel. It was available as a 2-door hardtop, 4-door sedan, and station wagon, sharing a modified platform with a full-size Ambassador. AMC marketed the Matador as more than just a name change, highlighting its value in the competitive intermediate car market. The sedan and wagon variants gained popularity among government agencies and police departments, often equipped with powerful V8 engines. However, the Matador received criticism for its handling and performance issues. In its second generation, spanning from 1974 to 1978, the Matador underwent a significant redesign and became AMC's largest car. The coupe versions were marketed as the Barcelona and Oleg Cassini, targeting the personal luxury segment. Despite its distinctive styling, the Matador continued to struggle with handling problems. Poor sales eventually led to its discontinuation after the 1978 model year. Number 11. 1974 Ford Mustang II. The Ford Mustang II, introduced in 1974 as the second generation of the Ford Mustang, came out during a tough period marked by the 1973 oil embargo and fuel shortages. Led by Lee Iacocca, it aimed to offer a fresh approach to the traditional pony car, adapting to rising gas prices and shifting market needs. Built on the smaller Pinto platform, it shared components with the Ford Pinto and was notably lighter and more compact than its predecessor. Available in styles like the 2+2 notchback coupe and 3-door liftback, it offered engine options including the 140 cubic inch Lima L4, 171 cubic inch Cologne V6, and the 302 cubic inch Windsor V8. Despite criticisms of its reduced power and performance, it earned Motor Trend's 1974 Car of the Year and achieved impressive sales exceeding 1.1 million units over its 4-year production. However, some enthusiasts felt it deviated from essential Mustang qualities. Its era, known as the Malaise era, gave way to the third-generation Fox platform Mustang in 1979. Number 10. 1979 Chevrolet Citation. The Chevrolet Citation was a car made by Chevrolet from 1979 to 1985. It was different from previous Chevrolet cars because it had front-wheel drive. Before the Citation, Chevrolet made the Chevy Nova. The Citation was smaller than the Malibu and bigger than the Monza. It had 3 types: a 2-door car, a 3-door car with a hatch, and a 5-door car with a hatch. Under the hood, the Citation had 2 types of engines, a 2.5-liter Iron Duke L4 and a 2.8-liter V6. But people had problems with the car. They said it wasn't reliable, and it didn't work well. Some even called it one of the worst cars of the 1980s. The Citation was made in the United States and Mexico, but Chevrolet stopped making it after 1985. Instead, they started making the Chevrolet Beretta and Corsica. Number 9. 1980 Ford Escort. The first Ford Escort cars, which came out in 1980 for the 1981 model year, had quite an interesting story. They were small cars, taking over from the Ford Pinto and actually growing a bit bigger, around 6 inches longer and over 3 inches taller. The Escort had almost the same distance between its front and rear wheels as the Pinto did. In terms of what made them go, these early Escorts had either 1098cc or 1298cc 4-cylinder engines. But people didn't really like them at first because they weren't smooth, had problems being reliable, and weren't very fast. Later versions got better though. The first Escort also formed the basis for other cars like the Ford Tempo Mercury Topaz, and even smaller ones like the Ford EXP Mercury LN7. It changed a lot over time, and by 1982, it was the most popular car in the United States. Eventually, Ford replaced it with the Ford Focus in North America. Number 8. 1981 Cadillac Cimarron. The Cadillac Cimarron, made from 1981 to 1988, was Cadillac's try at entering the small luxury car market. It was meant to be a new kind of Cadillac for a different kind of Cadillac owner. However, its development was hurried, joining the GMJ platform just 11 months before hitting showrooms. Essentially, the Cimarron was a rebranded Chevrolet Cavalier, sharing much of its design. Critics were quick to point out its lack of true luxury, leading to controversy. Despite wearing the Cadillac badge, the Cimarron didn't perform as expected, with options like a 1.8-liter and 2-liter L4 and a 2.8-liter V6. Sales were disappointing, and the car symbolized GM's misaligned priorities. It's remembered as one of Cadillac's worst cars, teaching lessons about badge engineering and the importance of staying true to a brand's identity. Fortunately, Cadillac learned from this and regained its luxury reputation with more genuine offerings later on. Number 7. 1982 Chevrolet Cavalier. The Chevrolet Cavalier was made by General Motors from 1982 to 2005. It was designed to be compact and practical. Back in the late 1970s, GM started working on it to replace another small car called the Monza. The Cavalier was part of a group of cars known as the GMJ Platform Series. These cars shared a design that was used across different GM brands. Some of these included the Buick Skyhawk, Cadillac Cimarron, Oldsmobile Forenza, and Pontiac J2001. When it comes to looks and what was under the hood, the Cavalier had options. It could be a 2-door with a regular trunk, a 3-door car with a hatchback, or even a 3-door car with a wagon back. You could get it with different engines too, from a small 1.8-liter 4-cylinder to a bigger 2.8-liter V6, but only from 1985 to 1988. Unfortunately, some people didn't think it was put together very well, and it wasn't always reliable. Even with its issues, a lot of people in the United States bought Cavaliers. They were really popular. But by 2005, GM decided it was time for something new, and they replaced the Cavalier with the Chevrolet Cobalt. Number 6. 1984 Pontiac Fiero. The Pontiac Fiero, made from 1984 to 1988, was an interesting experiment by General Motors. It was designed by George Miladrag and Holke Atakakti to be a cheap car for everyday use with just enough power. It was Pontiac's first 2-seater since their coupes in the late 1920s to the late 1930s. Additionally, it was the first rear mid-engine car made in large numbers by an American company. To save fuel, the Fiero had light body panels that didn't support weight, making it lightweight. Its chassis and structure were very advanced for the time. For engines, early Fiero models had a 2.5-liter inline-4, while later ones had a 2.8-liter V6. Unfortunately, the early engines had reliability problems, hurting the car's reputation. Thanks to its mid-engine design, the Fiero handled well and felt sporty. It came in different versions, like Base, Sport, SE, and GT. Despite its initial promise, the Fiero got criticized for not being powerful enough and for safety concerns. Problems with reliability, especially with the engine and suspension, made its reputation even worse. Its sales went down every year until it was stopped after the 1988 model year. Number 5. 1980 AMC Eagle. The AMC Eagle was a small 4-wheel drive car made by American Motors Corporation from 1980 to 1987. Chrysler Corporation took over production for the 1988 model. It came in different styles like a 2-door coupe, 4-door sedan, and station wagon, all based on the AMC Concorde. In 1981, they added smaller models called the SX4 and Camback to attract new buyers and for commercial use. They also offered a convertible version called the Sundancer for a couple of years. Even though the term wasn't used then, many people see the AMC Eagle as the first crossover. It mixed the comfort of a regular car with the height and ability to handle bad weather of a 4-wheel drive utility vehicle. While it was good for driving in any weather, some people didn't like its strange looks and that it wasn't great for serious off-road driving. Eventually, only the sedan and station wagon were left, and by 1988, only the station wagon remained. They called it the Eagle Wagon. Even though it was different and innovative, the Eagle didn't last long and is remembered as an early try at making a crossover. Number 4. 1982 Oldsmobile Forenza. The Oldsmobile Forenza was made from 1982 to 1988 and shared the front-wheel drive GMJ platform with other cars like the Buick Skyhawk, Cadillac Cimarron, Chevrolet Cavalier, and Pontiac Sunbird. It didn't come from the European Vauxhall Forenza, but from the Vauxhall Cavalier MK2 Opel Ascona C1. Its design included unique front and rear-ended styling, featuring quad rectangular headlights and a slope body color panel between them. Despite being an entry-level car, it offered premium options like power windows, locks, and alloy wheels. However, it faced reliability problems and didn't meet expectations for performance in the luxury segment. By 1988, it was the least popular J-body compact car, and despite changes to its grille, wheels, and engine options over the years, it couldn't overcome its challenges and faded away. Number 3. 1986 Chrysler TC by Maserati. The Chrysler TC by Maserati came about through a special partnership between Chrysler and Maserati, aiming to create a luxurious Grand Tourer, blending American and Italian styles. Unveiled at the 1986 Los Angeles Auto Show, it was based on a modified version of Chrysler's K platform. Lee Iacocca from Chrysler and Alejandro De Tomaso from Maserati joined forces for this venture, drawing on their past collaboration with the De Tomaso Pantera. The TC was meant to boost Chrysler's image and attract wealthier customers. Styled akin to the Chrysler LeBaron, it suffered from management issues and disagreements during its 5-year development, leading to delays. Despite its Italian lineage, the TC's build quality didn't quite meet expectations, and its high price tag left buyers wanting more value. With only around 7,300 units produced between 1988 and 1990, the TC by Maserati stands as an intriguing yet flawed blend of American and Italian automotive ambition. Number 2. 1976 Pontiac Sunbird. The Pontiac Sunbird, made by General Motors' Pontiac division, was their second small car in the 1970s. It lasted for 18 years, except for a short break in 1981 and 1982 when it was named the J2000. It replaced the Pontiac Astray as their sporty 2+2 coupe. The first generation, running from 1976 to 1980, used the subcompact GMH platform. It came out in 1976, taking over from the Astra. There were different body styles available, like a 2-door notchback coupe, a 3-door hatchback, and a station wagon. Engine choices included a 140 cubic inch 2300 L4 and a 151 cubic inch Iron Duke L4. The Sunbird was made alongside other cars like the Chevrolet Monza, Buick Skyhawk, and Oldsmobile Starfire. Despite its popularity, it received criticism for its plain looks, mediocre build quality, and underwhelming performance compared to its competitors. Number 1. 1990 Chevrolet Lumina APV. The Chevrolet Lumina all-purpose vehicle, a minivan made by General Motors, was introduced in 1990 and lasted until 1996. It was Chevrolet's first front-wheel drive minivan, resembling the Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager in design, prioritizing space and versatility. Featuring a transverse front-engine layout, it offered engine options like the 3.1-liter LG6 V6, 3.4-liter LA1 V6, and 3.8-liter L27 V6. However, it received criticism for underwhelming performance, failing to meet minivan buyers' expectations. Its distinctive aerodynamic design divided opinions, but its handling issues undermined driver confidence. Alongside the Pontiac Transport and Oldsmobile Silhouette, it competed against rivals like the Dodge Grand Caravan and Ford Aerostar. Despite its innovative features, the Lumina APV didn't capture buyers' interest as anticipated. In 1997, Chevrolet replaced it with the Chevrolet Venture, marking the end of its brief but notable legacy. Thanks for joining us as we explored the 20 worst American old cars in U.S. history. Which car surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more automotive content like this.